When life causes a desire to be born within you, if you are one of those rare humans, you're able to keep that desire alive or that dream alive for quite some time, or as long as you can. That is until reality gets in the way. This is kind of how it goes. Life causes you to want money. I want money. It would be so nice to have money. And then, instead of continuing the momentum of the desire of what feels good, you kill it. You kill the desire. I want money, but I don't have it. I want it, but I don't have it. I want it, and no one I know has it. I want it and I have no idea how it will come. I want it, and I'm pretty sure that there's no one that has it. I'm pretty sure that this is a bad economy. I'm pretty sure that, and you just throw reality into the mix and you kill and you dilute the frequency or the feeling of your desire. And so we're trying to get you to dream longer. What we're really talking about is momentum. And speaking about dreams and momentum, cue the fanfare for the World of Notorious is now open. Yes, that fanfare was worth the wait. We are now open and all of our services are now available. And of course, we will still continue to make these videos, but now you can seek or you can enjoy our offerings of one-on-one coaching, and ultimately we will make your dreams come true. For we already know that your dreams have already become true. As a result of your life, you have put everything into your vibrational reality. So our job we see our benefit not as teaching you how to have your dreams, but teaching you or helping you tune your frequency so that you can tune more into the wanted, so that when you go out into in the world and life, the law of attraction will respond to you differently. And we're not even kidding. When we tune your frequency, when you watch these videos, you establish new set points. You really go there with us. We feel you. We feel you across the screen. You go into the vortex with us. For we can get you into the vortex on any subject, on any sort of thing. Getting into the vortex is easy. For you have to take the path of least resistance. And once you do, that set point is established. You can never go back. You can never go back to the low vibrations. You can never go back to living who or being who you just were or who you were, without feeling or being sensitive to that feeling of negative emotion. And so when we're talking about dreams, we're talking about momentum. Momentum really is the most interesting thing in the world, because all momentum means is don't contradict your thought. And that's the thing. If all we said to you was want what you want it, talk about why you want it, and don't contradict it, then that's all we would really have to say. But there's an art to that. And that art is keeping the momentum alive longer, talking more about the desire. And usually when you talk about your desire, you get real really fast. You get realistic. You're not those kids anymore who were just really good at imagining and fantasizing. You couldn't just, or maybe as you continue to watch these videos and as you continue to feel your vibration rise and you feel that your connection to source energy get stronger and stronger, and you get more sensitive to when you're doing that thing that stops you from connecting to your source energy, aka negative emotion, then you get better at dreaming, because you get better at not killing your dream. Because that's the thing. If you just dreamt the dream and you dreamed it and you felt good about it and you talked about why you want it, because when you talk about what you want and why you want it, you're practicing the momentum of it longer. You're practicing the frequency of the desire. Because here's the thing. Every desire that you want is a stick. Every subject really is a stick. The absence and the presence. The absence is on one side and the presence of your desire is on the other side. So that means that in any given moment, you're either on one end of the stick or the other. And that's the thing. There are some subjects where you have a habit of thought on the presence, and there's some subjects where you have a habit of thought of the absence. But is this relational thing? You can't have one without the other. When you have a lot of money, the absence of money is still there, but it's not a big player in your vibration, because that's why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, because there is less of that attention to the absence, because you don't have absence. You have presence, and the more you focus on what you have, the more it focuses. So that's what we're saying. Sometimes you're more focused on the unwanted side of the equation. So when we're talking about anything, when we're talking about you wanting anything, like, yeah, I want money, and it'd be so nice to have money, and it'd be so good to have money, and I would love to have money. I would love to buy everything that I want. It would just feel so nice. It would feel so easy. It would feel so fresh. It would feel so free. It would feel so good, and I would love it. And you see how the momentum continues to build, and you start to really feel the presence of your money, because the momentum is being established. Once you hit that 17-second mark, now law of attraction will give you another thought and another thought, another thought. And before you know it, you will have this point of attraction that is so attractive in nature that you will have to start getting impulses. Because this is the thing. You can't hang around in the vortex, in the range of the vortex for very long. You can't feel satisfied for very long before you go into those high-flying places. And then you know what's going to happen? You're going to get an impulse. And that impulse is going to lead you right to the vortex. That's the impulse. Is it going to lead you, or is it going to lead you along the path to what you want? And these impulses, when they come, they feel good. These impulses do feel good. And many of our friends, they can hear everything that we say and they understand the theory. And once they, click off these videos, they're like, well, what do I do now? I understand, I feel so good, but what do I do now? How do I take this to the bank? And that's the thing. It's that same sort of mentality. Is I'm going to use my action. I'm going to bang it into place. I'm going to manhandle it into place. I dream it. I see it. Now, what do I do? Tell me, what do I have to do to make it happen? But that's the thing, is that you have to step away from that sort of action. I have to get it through my action. And if I don't get it through my action, how am I going to get it? There's no other way than my action. Because here's the thing. Your human friends, our human friends, you guys are all great. You're all powerful, but none of you are banging enough dirt together to launch another Earth into orbit. There's something more. There's more of a leverage. There's more leverage than your action will give you. And that's what procrastination is. We love this subject of procrastination because what it really is you're in the vortex. Because here's the thing. A lot of times you're in the vortex, especially when you're watching videos like this, you're usually in a place where you're mostly connected to your vortex. So wherever you go, life is mostly good for you, but there's more to want because you can't help but want. You can't help but be in the vortex and see these big dreams. So now as you're watching videos like this, you're trying to figure out, how can I match up with these dreams? And the best way to do it is by understanding that you're over here, you have a point of attraction, and your desire is also out there, and it has a vibration too. So you have to match the vibration of your desire. Isn't that interesting? You have to match the vibration of your desire. That's what this gap is. This gap is between you and you, because guess where your desire is? In the vortex. And guess who's in the vortex? Your inner being. So your inner being is always focused on the presence of your desire. Even for example, even right now, if you were to open your bank account and you were to look at, maybe the number wouldn't be satisfying to you, but your inner being sees the presence. Your inner being sees the presence so fast because your inner being becomes more satisfied. And the thing is, you have to go with your inner being. If you want to feel good, you have to go with your inner being. And it's so amazing that you have this guidance system, because now you're able to quantify your journey. Now you're able to get to the millions. Now you're able to get to those big things because they're not big. There's no jump. There's no leap of faith that you have to take. There's nothing that you have to deprogram from your mind. All you have to do is make the dream. Focus on the dream. Let the dream feel good. Let the momentum, allow the momentum to ensue. And do you know what happens? That dream doesn't feel like a dream anymore. It feels like the next logical step. And when your dream is the next logical step, it doesn't feel big anymore. It just feels natural. You're like, yeah, of course I'm gonna write this book. Of course. And our artist friends, they really understand procrastination. Say if you're a singer, or say if you're a writer, you understand writer's block as being like this mental block where the ideas are just not flowing. So you know, a writer's block is a very intuitive way to procrastinate. It's a very intuitive way to understand, hey, there's something blocking my flow, because this is the thing, you know what the flow of writing feels like. You know that flow, you know, and you understand what it feels like to be in the zone and have the words flow through you. So when you're not in that zone, you call it writer's block. And what we're saying is that you're right, because if you take action when you don't, here's the thing, if you take action when you don't feel good, if it's not a hell yes, then don't do it. And if it's a hell yes, then do it, because that's what the impulses for that come from the vortex feel like. They feel like, yes, I really want to do it. It feels enthusiastic. You feel eager. That is until you kill it, because there is a potential and there is a tendency to kill the idea. It's like, how dare I have these frivolous ideas? I should be realistic. What are the odds? Oh, no one has that. You contradict your own desires, and then the momentum never gets started. Isn't that so interesting? The key to your desires is momentum. You have to keep talking about them, or you have to focus on them, or you have to not focus on them. It's up to you. But if it's something that you really want, then you can't help but notice it in your reality. When it's something like money, love, or relationships, or your body, these are things that are popping up every single day, and you're literally getting, a report card in every moment. So you can't help but notice it. So we're like, then you have to bridge the belief. Then you have to get up to speed with this desire. And the way to do that is to keep talking about what you want. Talk about what you want and why you want it, and enjoy the dream. Enjoy the satisfaction of just talking about your desire. Don't get into this attitude of like, and the reason why we say don't is because everything that you want is in the vortex. It really is there. And we're not even talking about it in a way where it's nebulous, because when reality feels real and this vortex feels nebulous, but it's the opposite, because this reality is old. This reality doesn't have your inner being. And when you feel for the vortex, because when you try to look into the vortex, you can't see with your eyes, you can't see with your tongue, or you can't see with your hands. You can only feel it. And when you feel the vortex, you feel everything there. You feel the presence of your mind. You feel the presence of everything. But we're saying that has to be enough. The feeling has to be enough, because when the feeling is enough, momentum will ensue. But when the feeling is not enough, when you're trying to do something to get something, when you're like, well, what can I do? Well, I'm going to offer all these positive thoughts. I'm going to affirm from in the vortex, because when you're affirming from in the vortex, now there's no effort required. Procrastination is the best topic in the world, because it's to understanding that if I move forward right now, then I'm going to depend a lot more on my action, and the results are just not going to be good. But when I move forward in inspiration, when I feel like, yes, I really want to do this, then it's good to go. The results are going to feel good. That's the thing. If you're feeling good about your desire, if you're like, well, it's just for the fun anyways, it's just for the fun, then you're ready for your desire. You're ready for it. But if it feels like, oh, I'm not so sure yet, then you're not ready. It's really as simple as that. A positive leaning optimistic thought means you're ready, and a negative leaning pessimistic thought means you're not ready. And we're saying your ability to be ready for all of your desires, it starts right here in this now moment. And it starts from not even thinking about this subject, but what side of the stick are you on? What subject can you find right now where the presence of the present side of the stick is easy to find. Because remember, imagine all the subjects in your life in a pile, and they're just these piles of sticks. Thing is, our human friends, they love talking about the problem. They love picking up the stick that's the most problematic, but they don't understand that when this is a tuning sort of world, it is exactly a tuning world. So when you pick up the stick, and maybe it's a stick of money, and you know, every single time that when you think about money, because you can't help, you got bills to pay, and you got money is something that you're always constantly thinking about, but you understand through being a deliberate creator that every time you pick up the stick of money, you go right to the absence. You just can't help it, because that's how momentum works. The thought that you lost thought, that's where you're going to pick up from. That's where you're going to pick up, because every thought that you ever thought is still out there. It's still vibrating. And when you match it, when you're in these rivers that are controlled by the law of attraction, you're going to get thoughts that are similar to all the dysfunction, which is what you don't want. But now as you understand, okay, I'm not going to reach for the hardest topic. I'm going to reach for the easiest topic. That's the path of least resistance. The path of least resistance is all about understanding that right now in this moment, I'm not going to take any action, because I don't need to take any action. Right now in this moment, I'm not going to get a job. Right now in this moment, I'm not going to write the book, but I can imagine the book. I can imagine the Grammy winning album. I can imagine all the things that I want. I can imagine the robust business. I can imagine it, because realistically speaking, everything that you want is 99% complete, done. It's in the vortex before you see any physical evidence. So you know what that means? That means that you gotta get really good at feeling for your vortex. You gotta get really confident, and you gotta feel very secure in the feeling of your desire, because that feeling is exactly what will propel you to not those heights. Because when you're in those heights, it doesn't feel like, whoa, look at me world. It just feels like, yeah, it just feels normal, because you've dreamed it, and you know that. You know how easy. You can tell by how well you dream something by how easy it comes. When it comes really easily, that means that you dreamed it. That means that the positive momentum, the wanted momentum was more of a dominant factor in the mix, because you have this mix of vibration all the time. So remember, if there's this long stick and every subject is really the stick, there's wanted on one side and unwanted on the other side. But there's this human tendency to talk about the unwanted. Yeah, I want money, but I would be stupid to think that can just come to me. I want money, yeah, but I want to write this book, but you know, you because you have averages, you have a past, you have this reality, and we get it. We're not roasting anyone for having this reality, because you have this reality, you have the averages, you have your past, you have a history, and we know that. But we're saying in everything that you're talking about, you're either under the influence, or it either feels good or it doesn't feel good, because you're not under the influence of source when you think that. So we're just saying the thing about procrastination is that, you know, there's resistance, so you shouldn't do the action, because if you go through with the action, it won't feel good, and it won't be fun, and it'll be grueling, and it won't get you the results. But the thing is, the real thing about procrastination is that our friends, we rate all of you, because we know who you are. We can see who you are vibrationally speaking. When we see you, we see the vibrational fullness of you. We don't see you as the person struggling with this or that. We see you as a full vibrational being that this life has caused you to become. So we see you as not only the writer, we see you as a best-selling writer, and the best-selling this and the best-selling that. We see you as a multiple accoladed person that you truly are, vibrationally speaking. Maybe reality hasn't caught up to it yet, but we can still see it, and we can believe it, and we put all of our faith in the vortex, because we understand, we get the vortex. We understand that reality will become whatever the vibrational sort of focus is. Isn't that interesting? Whatever you focus on vibrationally speaking, you will get that. And the thing about procrastination is that you're the one who puts the resistance on the path. You're the one, because you didn't. It's like, you know, you think about your desire, you dream, and then your inner being becomes more satisfied. Your inner being goes on without you. And it's not that your inner being goes on without you, is that you give up or you stop going with your inner being, because you have this reality. You have to be responsible and realistic. But realistically speaking, you just love the negative emotion. You have an appetite for negative emotion that's a little more than is good for you, because ultimately you should look at negative emotion and think, I'm not putting my hand on the burning stove. If you could treat every negative emotion like a hand that's on the burning stove, you would really stop, because you know, it feels so good when you stop putting your hand on the burning stove. And that's the thing, your vibrations are naturally high. And it's really interesting to watch your human friends, because these dreams, you get into the receiving mode and you get into the receiving mode and you receive the desires, you receive the momentum of source, but then you beat it down, you kick your own desires in the face, because you're like, oh well, I would need to be realistic. Okay, it's not really easy. It's not really fun. And we get it, because you have this reality. You have averages. You have the past. Things haven't been so good for you. What we're saying is that you can get there from there. You can't get from a platform of noticing only unwanted and never get wanted. You have to adjust your vibration. And we know, because you've been taught to be observational. You've been taught that the government should be yielding you more, that people should be better to you, that it's not your fault. But we're saying it's not your fault. You're the creator of your reality, and you can set the tone that everyone will match. For you are not only the creator of your reality, but you're the molder of your vibration. You're the only one who can offer your vibration for you. So our job is never to get you to follow your dreams. Our job is to get you right now in the vortex, because then while you're in the vortex, you're going to get inspiration and you're going to go. And You have your own inner being. Your inner being is there broadcasting you the presence of everything that you want. And the question really, and it will always be, how in this moment can I move towards my desire? How can I move towards the vibrational version of my desire? And the answer, the greatest answer ever, is by understanding that your inner being is already there. Your desire already exists. And as you move towards your desire, you feel good. And as you move away from your desire, you feel bad. And that's really it. That's all you need to understand. And we gave you a demonstration basically on what it really feels like to go with your desire, which means I want this and it feels good and it feels fun and I'm so excited for it and it feels just so rich and it just feels like exactly who I am and it feels right, versus saying things like I want it and I don't have it. I want it because I don't have it. That's contradicting energy. I want it and it'll be really fun to have it. I want it and I don't have it. That's contradiction right there. That right there, that energy it won't go anywhere. You can't gather momentum because you're the creator of your reality. You're the offer of your vibration. So friends, you know what to do next. It's not about doing anything. It's about feeling better. Ooh, that was a trap. You gotta feel better. You gotta feel better about where you stand. Make peace with reality. Reality is not your enemy. Reality is the best thing ever, because reality is just your feedback. Reality is telling you, hey, this is what is in your vibration. And if you don't like what reality is saying, then you know what? You can always tune your frequency. And you know how you do that? By just feeling better, reaching for the best feeling thought right now that you have access to.